it. I'll sign it, but do I get a royalty if they go to video cassette? I mean, if you sell cassettes in 1995, it seems a few cents even for me. And is the hair all right? Because that's all I really care about. If the hair were... Hello, Aaron Thicke here, a little extra last-minute excitement backstage, as if a 2-hour Stooge tribute were not already enough entertainment for you folks for the next month. Something has come up that is going to allow us to do away with that opening production number, you know, the traditional thing with the dancing girls that go, whoa, whoa, there's a Stooge effect for you, whoa, nyek, nyek, nyek. Well, we're going to do away with that also with that cleverly edited montage, you know, the film clips from the Stooges over the years. We're not going to be able to use that because we're going right now live to something that has just come up. I have an envelope. A production assistant has found a letter that she's given me that is now is being guarded. Guarded by the military, and this letter will show us the location of the Stooges' missing film vault. Geraldo would kill for this. The Stooges' missing comedy films we're going to show you tonight. And right now, a little danger, a little excitement and tension downstairs where the vault has been located because the bomb squad, I guess, is there with the big helmets, and they're ready to blow this thing, I don't know, explosive. We got to get the door off, get into the vault, blowing this thing to smithereens. This could be very... And it's already opened. Apparently, opening has already taken place. I don't know how they do it, maybe with a blowtorch, a battering ram, I don't know, nitroglycerin. There must be a chemical, something that takes the door off a vault, and it's, which is a key. A key has been found and used to open that, and that's, of course, easier. We're going to open the elevator door. If we can do that, then we'll be able to get to the vault opening. I don't know what we'll find there. Maybe home movies of the Stooges with Al Capone. But for, I don't know, 10, 20 years, nobody has been able to get into this.
60 years.
And it's 60 years, apparently. 6 decades. This vault has been sealed no longer. Not with this letter. Geraldo would shave his mustache off for this. Look at this, boys and girls. Isn't this kind of eerie and spooky and curly and Larry? Wait. So close. I'm nervous enough as it is. This is a moment in television history, the Stooges vault.
Why don't you dumbbell stop? What did I do? Oh, a funny man. What's the matter with you? Nice work, Mo. Why don't you be quiet?
I'm a victim of circumstance. Sit down.
Oh, I told you, don't be so close. You can't be. You gotta stop.
Alan, wake up, man. You're dreaming.
You're not Curly?
Oh, come on, Alan. We've been looking all over for you. The show's already started. We've already done the big production number with the dancing girls. We're about ready to start the cleverly edited montage of classic Stooge clips.
What?
Let's go, man. You're on. You're the host.
Did I get those cassette royalties?
It's Disorder in the Court, a 60th anniversary tribute to the Stooges. Celebrating 6 decades of laughs and entertainment from America's #1 comedy trio. Hosted by Alan Thicke and featuring Mo, Larry, Curly, Shemp, Joe Besser, and Curly Joe DeRita. With special guests Will Schreiner, Julie Brown, Emil Sitka, Janice Pennington, and Jeff Altman. And featuring the world color premiere of a classic Stooges comedy. I'm Gary Owens. Stay tuned for a hysterical history lesson when our salute to the Stooges continues.
Hey, what's the idea of spoiling the game?
I was for onesies.
Well, here's Tuesday.
Oh,
He was the onesie? You get him to... Here's 5.
Our affection with the Three Stooges brand of comedy has grown stronger, probably, with each passing year. And in the next 2 hours, we'll find out why the Stooges are still America's hottest comedy team. It's true the Three Stooges have been with us for 6 decades, but Stooge comedy has been around almost since the beginning of time. Scientists believe the Earth was formed millions and millions of years ago by swirling masses of gas. And at some point, a few eons after the Earth's creation, living organisms began to surface. The first living creatures are said to have crawled out of the slime and scum of the Earth. It wasn't long before Stooge behavior appeared. It can be traced back to caveman days, when Neanderthal man's idea of foreplay was to club their beloved over the head with the nearest heavy object.
Wait a minute. You wouldn't hit a lady with that. Use this. It's bigger. Oh, thanks.
But it wasn't until centuries later that a species of man was actually identified as part of the Stooge family. The first of these on record was Shempus erectus, better known as Shemp. In real life, Shemp was Samuel Howard, born in Brooklyn in 1895. His mother, born in Lithuania and possessing a thick European accent, called him Sam, but it invariably came out Shem. Shem, she said, Shem. Well, Shem became Shemp, and the nickname stuck. Shemp started in vaudeville with stand-up comic Ted Healy. Shemp played a wise guy who heckled Healy. Healy would then drag Shemp up from the audience, and from there on, it was non-stop chaos. This kind of second banana work was called stooging. Shortly after Shemp joined up with Healy, Mo Howard, Shemp's younger brother, was brought into the act. Now, Mo had been in show business since childhood. In fact, Mo had actually toured the country doing Shakespeare. That's right, Shakespeare. Mo wasn't very good at it, but then Shakespeare couldn't write a pie fight to save his life. By 1925, Healy and his two Stooges were looking for a third man to complete the ensemble. After all, three ugly guys have to be funnier than two, right? It was while the group was in Chicago, they spotted violinist Larry Fine in a nightclub musical act. He was so bizarre-looking that Healy and the Howards immediately asked him to join the team, with one stipulation. He had to get rid of the fiddle.
Oh, my Stradivarius! Oh, my beautiful Stradivarius!
Well, Larry trashed his violin in favor of being trashed by Mo for the rest of his career.
What's the matter with you?
And by the late 1920s, Ted Healy and his Stooges were one of the most popular acts in vaudeville. But Healy was the top banana. So he got his own quarters, separate from Mo and Larry and Shemp. Well, Shemp was so disgusted about that, he wanted to leave the act. Here's an idea what happens when three guys have to share the same dressing room.
I said stand still.
Oh, Mo! I'm blind! You point my eye out!
Here. I'm telling you to hold still now. I'm warning. Oh, still. Oh, it's had 7 years of hard luck. I said stand still.
Oh! Hey, I cut off my head! Mo, my head is off! Mo, my head is off! My head is off! Oh, there I am. And as pretty as a picture.
Yeah, beneath. Oh, get going with me. Here you are. Boy, am I tight. Where let's go this water? Oh.
Mo poured cold water on Shemp's plans to leave the Stooges by signing them to appear in their first movie, Soup to Nuts, in 1930. But after pleading with his partners, Shemp finally got his way and left the Stooges. At this point, Mo and Shemp's baby brother, Jerome, joined the group. Now, originally, Ted Healy didn't want him. He thought young Jerome was just too handsome. Well, Shemp solved that. He took Jerome to the barber, who shaved him to the scalp. They nicknamed him Curly, and the most beloved of all Stooges was born. Curly's first film with Mo and Larry and Ted Healy was the film short Hollywood on Parade. It was shot while the Stooges were between vaudeville gigs, so you'll notice a slight hair growth on Curly's head.
But I know how you make people laugh.
You do, huh?
Yes, I said.
How? Uh-huh. No, you're wrong, lady. He's wrong, isn't he?
Yeah, this is the way.
Me.
Take your time. He's wrong. This is the way.
Do that again. Do that again.
It's hook.
He's wrong.
Now, this is the way, isn't it? Okay. Pardon me.
Who started this thing here? Wait a minute. Come on, yeah.
Following Hollywood on Parade, Healy and the Stooges were signed by MGM to appear in a handful of feature films and short subject comedies. Now, in the 1930s, MGM was the most prestigious studio in Hollywood, which caused many insiders to wonder, what the heck are the Stooges doing there? And, of course, they were at their worst, which is what they did. By 1934, Ted Healy was becoming a major star. The Stooges, on the other hand, were getting beaten up for very little money. $100 a week to be exact. So the Stooges decided they no longer needed Healy. They could maim each other without him, and they could make quadruple the money. So the boys finally said goodbye to the top banana, and they signed with Columbia Pictures as the Three Stooges. Now, for the next 12 years, Larry, Curly, and Moe continued performing and making films until Curly had to retire from the act due to illness. At that point, Moe and Larry begged Shemp to rejoin, but Shemp was enjoying a solo career without the Stooges, and he felt that their kind of slapstick was beneath him. Well, the only thing beneath Shemp was the sidewalk, and even he realized you can take the man out of the Stooges, but you can't take the Stooge out of the man. Shemp rejoined Moe and Larry in 1946 and provided the belly laughs for nearly 10 more years. In 1955, with their movies still packing them in, Larry, Moe, and Shemp were considering doing a Three Stooges TV series when Shemp died. Columbia Pictures, wishing to keep the Stooges alive, introduced Moe and Larry to Joe Besser. Joe was a comic who had worked with Shemp back in the 1940s, and he kind of looked like Curly, but sounded more like a cross between LaToya Jackson and Lou Costello.
Look, where are you going with the water?
Oh, my tent's on fire!
That team of Howard, Fine, and Besser only lasted through a handful of films. Columbia fired the Stooges in 1958. It looked like the boys were out of a job for good. Ironically, that same year, the old Stooge shorts featuring Curly were released to TV, and kids around the country went crazy over the trio. The Stooges were back in demand. Meanwhile, Joe had already signed to do a featured role in a movie and was unavailable for that third Stooge part, so Moe and Larry hired another guy, a guy who looked like Curly, Joe DeRita. DeRita made his first film with the Stooges in 1959, Have Rocket, Will Travel. That film was a box office smash, and Larry, Moe, and Joe DeRita made a handful of feature films in the 1960s that cemented their reputation as the high priests of low comedy.
What's it say? Beep, 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 beep. Get out of here.
We are going on a trip around the world.
In the boat?
No. In a plane?
No, in a daze.
This one was Curly Joe's personal favorite of all of his Stooge films. It increased the Stooges' popularity throughout the globe and proved they could be stupid in any language. The Stooges made their final feature film in 1965. That was a Western spoof titled The Outlaws Is Coming. But even after all these years, they're still as popular as ever. And that's saying a lot for three guys who always acted like they couldn't get along.
You can't say that about us.
There you are, sir. Pretty good. Another winner.
Coming up next, the Missing Stooge Files, featuring lost episode footage never seen before, when our salute to the Stooges continues.
Are you gonna work? No. Are you gonna work? I'll work if I feel like it. Do you feel like it? Yeah, I feel like it. Now listen.
Okay, you can roll that now. Oh, you can roll it now. Roll. So Hollywood. In this segment, you're going to see some things you've never seen before, simply because these appearances have been lost, maybe even forgotten. That happens with some of your favorite stars on television and in film. No explanation, really. They just kind of vanish into the black hole of entertainment. Well, that was the case with the Stooges, because in 40 years of making film and 20 years of doing television, some things were bound to get lost in the shuffle, including Curly's premiere episode, Meet the Baron. This film was made in 1933, and if you watch closely, you'll notice he not only crosses his fingers for good luck, he crosses his eyes.
Put a handkerchief over your eyes.
Like the time we held up the bank?
No, what's the matter with you? Cover your eyes.
Oh.
No, with a handkerchief.
Why do you say so?
Now remember, one flip of those blindfolds, and you'll feel my wrath.
Don't try to bribe the boys.
More than 20 years after Meet the Baron premiered, the Stooges decided to take a whack at television. And before they could take a whack at each other, a deal was made to produce a pilot in 1955. This extremely rare film clip is the only existing kinescope of the Stooge pilot, which featured Shemp as the third man. This lost episode never even got on the air. In fact, this is the first time the film has ever been seen on TV.
Can't open the little file drawer. How did you ever get so stupid? I got a charge account. What's your excuse? Remind me to lower your salary and raise your forehead. Get out of here. Oh! Uh-huh. That's a queer contraption.
Yeah, ain't that quaint?
Ain't?
Yeah.
You mean isn't?
Yeah, isn't that quaint?
Yeah. See, that's the way to do it. You gotta use your head. Oh, use it. I saw it, and it's good for you. Good for you. Step aside and let an intelligent man show you how. Intelligent? Yeah. How did you get so smart? I went to college. I graduated. Went to Swedish massage college. Why did you go into that business? I couldn't find enough Swedes to massage. Never mind. Open that thing.
Yeah,
Why,
sure.
certainly. Go ahead. Oh, all right. Go ahead. You went. I'll get. Oh, what happened?
Despite the fact that that film never saw the light of day, or maybe perhaps because it never saw the light of day, the Stooges went on to become guest stars on Ed Wynn's variety program, broadcast live from Hollywood.
Camel Cigarettes present Ed Wynn, and Ed's guests, the Three Stooges and Helen Forrest.
Now, in those days, they called Ed Wynn the perfect fool. This, of course, was before the Stooges made their TV debut. In the 1950s, the Stooges were on the receiving end of offers from just about everybody who was anybody in TV. And if anybody was somebody, it was certainly Frank Sinatra.
The Three Stooges will come on in.
Frankie,
Oh, Frankie!
Frankie.
Happy New Year! Frankie! Frankie! Where are you, Frankie? Where are you?
Here I am.
It was during that live New Year's Eve broadcast back in 1952 that Shemp Howard actually introduced a brand new Stooges routine, one they never performed again. You're seeing this bit for the first time since it originally aired nearly 40 years ago.
Do you mind holding these glasses while I take your coat? Oh, not at all. Thank you. Just hold them, sir. Yes, take them. Don't take any of that liquor out of there, now. Don't take any of that. That's the way to do it. Happy New Year to you.
By the late 1950s, it seemed like everyone was calling the Stooges, especially advertisers.
Oh, we got it. We got it.
You got what?
We found a way to put Simonized car wax and Simonized car cleaner all in one push-button can. And just how does it work, Professor Nitwit? Come on, we'll show you. Come on, we'll show you. Come on, Whip.
In 1959, Larry, Moe, and Curly Joe filmed this commercial for Simonized Wax.
See? And then watch it. Just spread it around and let it dry. And it's really Simonized, is it? Watch this. Sure, it's Simonized. Look at that shine. We'll be famous. We'll make a fortune. We'll call it, Instant Simonized. Instant Simonized, you lame brains. You can already buy Instant Simonized everywhere. Instant Simonized? They thought of it, too? Simonized thinks of everything. Try Instant Simonized, another easy new way to brighten your day. From Simonized Company.
When the Stooges weren't doing movies or hawking products for big corporations, they were working for the biggest conglomerate of them all, the U.S. government. In 1968, the boys made their last released film ever, Star-Spangled Salesman. This was a short for the Treasury Department that had Moe, Larry, and Joe DeRita as handymen at a movie studio.
Hey, fellas, I wonder if you'd be interested in signing up for the payroll savings plan.
The payroll savings plan? Did you know, Mr. Morris, that payroll savings ain't really a deduction? The money ain't really gone. It's like savings.
So with payroll savings, the money they take out goes right into bonds and earns interest for us.
Look, fellas, the payroll savings plan isn't a deduction at all. It's just part of our take-home pay that grows and grows and... Come on.
Then you'll sign.
Yes, we'll sign. Come on, let's make a test out of you. Here we are. All right. Let's see.
Yeah.
Mo, how do you spell Joe? They got enough trouble spelling Mo. Oh. Make it the Stooges. Yeah, the Stooges. There we are. Come on now, little fella. Here, take these back to your office and plant them right away, okay?
Thanks, fellas.
All right, Mr. Morris.
Yeah, goodbye.
Boy, he's a nice fella.
Coming up, John Wayne as a stooge. And when we return, Jeff Altman with a practical guide to stoogery.
Never fear, it's not loaded. How could Gail Tempest's frail little finger pull the rusty trigger of that instrument of destruction?
See, there was nothing in it.
Yes. Someone once said a stooge with a loaded gun always gets his man in the end. Well, in spite of themselves, the Stooges are still having an effect on our everyday lives, whether we want to admit it or not. Everywhere you go, there's some evidence of Stoogism. Isn't there? Stooge merchandise, for instance, seems more popular than ever. In our quest to bring you up-to-the-minute information, here's a special report.
Just look at this bonanza of stooge merchandise. Set the magnometer on fun. Yes, you'll get stuck on these handsome Larry, Moe, and Curly Joe refrigerator door magnets the next time you post yourself a reminder. And your children will jump for joy when you give them the Three Stooges color-form slapstick-ons. It's educational and nutty, Joe Besser not included. Hey, what time is it? With this precision plastic wall clock, you'll know when it's a Curly to Larry, as it gives you hours of fun.
Hi, I'm Janice Pennington. For quite a few years now, you've seen me on The Price is Right with Bob Barker. Needless to say, when it comes to merchandise, I really know my stuff. But I can't understand how some items got past the marketing geniuses of the world, like Stooge linen. When you roll over and see Curly, you'll be glad you slept alone. Or the Larry Fine Chia paint. Just add water to Larry's dough and watch the fungus begin. Or what about the Shemp car alarm? Would-be thieves will flee in terror when they're caught red-handed by the ugly Stooge. And of course, Stooge cocktail glasses. Let these swanky goblets become the topic of conversation at your next soiree. Well, that's all we have time for now. Alan, here's to you.
Well, thank you. The same to you. It is clear that the Stooges have left their indelible mark on many facets of society. Check this out.
Well, you know, Alan, we've all seen the aggressive antics of the Three Stooges and laughed and thought,
Oh, gee, that's funny, but not really for me.
well, hi. I'm Jeff Altman, here with my assistant, Candace.
Hi, it's
Yeah,
really
thanks.
nice.
To suggest that Three Stoogery can not only be amusing, but also practical and helpful. For instance, how many times has this happened to you? At the most inopportune moment, someone comes to your door pestering you for a senseless donation.
Good day, sir. I'm from the Baba Baba Rum Dum Center of Venice, and we're soliciting donations from wealthy homeowners today. It's only a $10 donation for the insipid teachings of our
Look, what's the
Lord.
least amount I can give?
$2.
I got two right there. Believe me, there's no better way to discourage your intruder than the Mo Howard eye poke. Or how about this? No. It's Friday afternoon, and your boss has just called you into his office to go over some fact sheets and year-end summaries. A horribly lengthy process you know could take up to 3 or 4 hours.
Fine, no problem. I'll get back to you. Right. Oh, Worthington, come here for a minute, will you? I'm glad I caught you before you left, because there's a couple of figures I want to go over before you leave for the day. Starting last year, I think that the profit and loss...
Meanwhile, you're trying to beat it out of there early to make a 4 o'clock tee-off time at the club. Problem? Not really. Why not bring that meeting to a hasty conclusion by confusing the boss with the infamous Stooges hand flutter?
However, this year, starting back in January, going to February, March, April, May, June, and July, I think the kind of way it could be.
And I'm sure we've all been plagued by that smelly workman or plumber.
Oh, yes.
Candace, who has already eaten up a fortune in labor charges, dismantling your entire bathroom, only to discover that he doesn't have the right parts with him to complete the job.
Well, I just don't think I can fix it.
Oh, don't tell me this.
I gotta take your toilet to the shop.
Oh, man.
Get you a loaner?
No, I need this toilet fixed, man. I mean, instead of feeling sorry for him or cussing him out, why not help him out by giving him a lesson with his own tools? Now, maybe I can help you with
You
this.
don't know nothing about plumbing. Huh?
Well, I hope that what you've just seen will not only be useful to you in the future, but may also make a noticeable improvement in the overall quality of your life. Just remember that if and when you employ these tactics, make sure you're paid in full on your liability coverage. Well, thanks for watching. And so for Candace and me,
Hey, wait a minute.
What about what? What?
You said like this would be like a really big part.
Yeah, well, look, you did a great job. So for both of us...
Wait a minute. You said this would be an important part and I'd have lots of big things to say.
Ah, great, fine. Okay, just say goodbye.
Goodbye. The tight-fisted head bunk. A trusty friend.
Oh, Jeff, poor baby, I'm sorry. We cover medical, it's all right. Although the Stooges seldom suffered any physical mishaps, there is a story told about the making of one of the classic Stooge comedies featuring Shemp in a scene where he is mistaken for a woman's long-lost cousin Basil. Well, the woman realizes that he's not Basil, and then the script calls for her to beat Shemp to a pulp. Well, when they were shooting, apparently, the actress who was supposed to beat Shemp up was reluctant to do that. Shemp was already in his 50s, and she felt guilty about wailing on him. In order to get a decent take, however, Shemp begged her to really let him have it. Well, she did. And by the time she finished, poor Shemp was real groggy.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Come in, Cousin Basil. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. I've just been dying to meet you. You're even cuter than your 30 said you were.
Oh, boy, success. Listen to those kisses. Cut it out.
Oh, you must be exhausted after your long trip. Sit down. Let me look at you, Cousin Basil. Oh, now don't you go away. Hello? Yes, this is Miss Hopkins. Your Cousin Basil? Well, then who is...
I was just...
How dare you pretend to be my Cousin Basil? I'll teach you a thing or two. You won't. Don't you dare strike me. Taking advantage of a poor, weak, helpless woman.
Boy, his kisses are getting louder.
You horrible person, you...
What happened, kid? Can I help it if I ain't Cousin Basil?